Someone give Fede Alvarez the king of horror title because this dude don't miss. I'm Matt from the Two Game Podcast, and I'm here to review Alien Romulus. And there will be some spoilers from this point forward. So if you have not seen Alien Romulus, I would recommend going and backing out of this review and then coming back once you have watched the movie, because there are some great moments in this movie that you don't necessarily want me to be spoiled. So instead of reinventing the wheel, the Alien franchise returns back to its horror roots in the best way possible. Some will see this as disappointing, considering where the series was going with Prometheus and Covenant. Personally, I was thrilled with the back to basics approach. Alien Romulus is a combination of Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Prometheus, Dead Space, and Alien Isolation. Yeah, it's kind of a love letter to the entire series at large, and that's more so on Alien Isolation, because I got so many Isolation vibes throughout this movie. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Yeah, there's some fan service throughout with callbacks to all the previous movies that I just mentioned. And a lot of people are kind of split. You're either on the left side where you absolutely kind of hate all of the callbacks and the fan service, and then the people on the right side, they eating that shit up, right? I'm kind of on the right side where I really did enjoy a lot of the fan service, but I think a lot of it is being blown out of proportion. I don't think the fan service is nearly as bad as everyone says it is. Like, I never rolled my eyes or got tired of any of the callbacks slash Easter eggs, and a lot of the fan service are just those subtle little Easter eggs that longtime fans will recognize. Although there was the inclusion of one past character that wasn't really necessary, and it absolutely took me out of the movie every single time that he was on screen, because the effects were just so damn bad and he was just in the movie way too much. Now, just a minute ago, I mentioned Alien Isolation, which is the scariest horror video game of all time, and there's no competition. Fede Alvarez was able to create like a movie version of that video game atmosphere with several callbacks and set designs that were very reminiscent of Isolation. One of my favorite aspects of this movie were those practical sets and the xenomorph designs. I just wish we were able to see more of the xenomorphs throughout the course of the movie. They were done in very quick shots, but we'll get into that in just a second as well. I thought the characters were serviceable. I didn't dislike any of them, and I thought they all kind of had like a moment to shine. Kaylee Spaney as Rain was such a great casting and character in this movie. I'll say it again, Lucasfilm. This is how you make a great female protagonist. She was able to nail the heartfelt moments along with those I'm about to fuck shit up moments. And it makes me very excited for the future with her at the helm of this franchise if they decide to continue with her. David Johnson was also great as Andy. He's the android in this movie. Him and Kaylee Spaney were absolutely fantastic. They were by far the two best characters in this movie. And what was interesting was the fact that they showed us who the android is right off the bat. So typically you kind of have to guess which one is the android. But no, they decided to play with our expectations, and it 100% worked for me at the very end, because we have Andy who gets corrupted by a different computer chip of sorts, and basically his entire identity and personality gets changed, but he's still like conflicted of saving Rain, but also saving stuff from the corporation. Now, the horror was absolutely top notch in the back half of this movie. This movie felt like it was 3 hours long, but in the best way possible. I was legit on the edge of my seat for the last hour, and it felt like my anxiety was through the roof. Now, one complaint I will make, and it is in regard to the kills, and it kind of highlights another, not necessarily an issue, but something I wish they had done differently or better. Multiple times throughout this movie, and especially on the kills, there are like quick cuts of the xenomorph, so it's difficult to see what's actually happening. And when they give us a spectacular shot, which there are numerous spectacular shots, they just quickly cut away from it. I just wish they would have held some of these shots a little bit longer. And I'll use the example that's actually in the trailers, which is when the xenomorph is standing in front of Rain and she's pressed up against the wall. It's a huge callback to Alien 3, but this shot doesn't last long at all. So we never really get to appreciate that moment and that callback, because it happens and then it's gone in a split second. Very minor gripe, I understand. I just wish they would have done and executed this a little bit better. And the kills kind of suffer from this same thing. But the good thing is Alvarez is able to show us horror in many different ways other than just gruesome kills, which I really appreciated. So overall, the beginning is slow, but not in a bad way. It's very reminiscent of the OG Alien movie. The horror aspects are so damn ripe with tension that I felt like I was holding my breath for 2 hours. Is it the best Alien movie in the franchise? No. But I don't think it needs to be. It needed to be another great entry in this series, and it 100% accomplished that. This is a movie worth going to see in theaters. I absolutely loved it, guys, and I can't recommend it enough to people. If you are a fan of horror or even just the Alien franchise in general, I think there's a lot here for everybody. I don't know if you've ever met a fan of the Alien franchise. Everybody's divided on every single movie. It's never just like a critically acclaimed movie where everybody's just super positive. People either like it or they don't. And that tends to be the case for a majority of the Alien movies, with the exclusion of Alien and Aliens. I think everybody agrees that those are the two best ones. But once you get past those, you have a split field on who likes them and who doesn't. I personally love this one, and I would personally put this at number 3. But guys, if you have seen Alien Romulus, let me know in the comments below what you thought about the movie. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I'll catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.